day one of the official lockdown in South Africa. Although for a lot of people, me included, I'm coming up for, what, a week in isolation? Or 2 weeks in isolation?
I think you went out last week.
No, full isolate. Like, well, I went to the shop with you.
Okay, but does that count?
I don't know, when did we go to the beach? I've lost track of time. Nearly 2 weeks in virtual isolation, bar one walk to the shops. And now that we are in official lockdown, it all feels very real, and the cabin fever is real already.
Obviously been real at the hospital for quite some time as we make all the necessary changes in the preparations for what we believe would come if we look at other countries that are slightly ahead of us. So we've had to make those preparations in advance. Slowly but surely, though, those numbers do start swelling up even here with us, and we've had our first deaths in the Western Cape as well. So that's not good news.
So it is getting real, and you know, life at home in isolation is also real. And so just getting up and having breakfast is normal, and having coffee is normal, sitting at my laptop and working as normal, and kind of forcing myself to have a shower every day just to kind of keep some routines going. But this week in particular has been a big disruption of routines while we try and figure out our new normal.
A bit weird for me as a surgeon, because my contribution to society is by operating someone. You can't operate this disease, so there's a mixture of feeling a bit inadequate as to be able to contribute. At the same time, there's still people who are in need of surgical service. And there's also obviously plans for the future that if the numbers of healthcare professionals start going down as they get infected, that we will all be pressed into different services as well. So we have to keep abreast of the management of this disease too. But you do feel a bit inadequate, not being a physician, but being a surgeon in the management of this. One of the positives perhaps for us is that we know how to deal with sterilizing things and keeping things clean, and having gloves on and masks and gowns. So I suppose that makes it a bit easier for us to contribute to helping. And we do have a few very high-risk procedures, of course, when you do an upper GI endoscopy. Gastroscopy, as you might know, that's a very, very high-risk procedure. So we are managing those very properly, of course, as we manage most other things. There's protocols for everything in the hospital. And I think we are as prepared to help people of South Africa as much as we can. Preparation has been phenomenal. But it is abnormal time for sure.
It's abnormal time for everybody, and us entrepreneurs as well. Like we're having to pivot our businesses and get creative now and figure out how we're going to maintain our livelihoods while we're not able to leave our homes. So for the most part this week, I've been pretty upbeat and enthusiastic and filled with ideas and active and productive. And I have to say, which doesn't bode well for this lockdown, that on day one of this official lockdown, it's actually my first day when I'm feeling a little bit like despondent and down. So yeah, I'm sure it will pass. I'm inherently a optimistic kind of person, and I'm hoping that my optimism comes back. I'm sure it will.
Well, it's normal to feel this way. This is a totally abnormal situation, and it's totally understandable and normal to feel anxious and to feel worried. That's normal.
And it's weird because sometimes you're like, yeah, everything's going to be okay, and then 5 minutes the world is falling apart, and like, oh no, we'll get through this, and then how is this all going to turn out? Like within the space of minutes, your mind just goes in all directions. And I know for me and my community, and I know you don't really plug into the things that I plug into, but now more than ever, I think people are needing to check in and take ownership of their own mental health and well-being. as much as possible. You know, everybody's talking about your physical well-being and the germs and all of that kind of thing. And I don't think much is being said about the psychological effects of this and the mental health well-being that we who are lay people who don't have the medical knowledge, we have to take, you know, keep our morale up. But then also for the medical professionals who are being faced and shoved into the front line of this, you know, you've got the medical skills, but you are human before you are a medical person, and you've got your own fears and concerns. And I think lots needs to be said and done and encouraged with regard to mental health during these times.
Definitely. And remember, there's always people who, perhaps not the proper thing to say, but have it worse. You know, there's lots of people who still have to go out under these circumstances. There's a lot of brave people out there. It's easy for me to talk about the healthcare professionals, but there are other very brave people who still have to go out and deliver an essential service at this time. And it takes a tremendous amount of bravery. And, you know, I think even more so because those people won't have medical training. You know, I see they put on masks. Do they know how to put it on properly? Do they know how to take it off properly? Do they know not to reuse it? Do they know not to put it back on after a break and you know, put it down where they eat? I mean, there's so many things. There's so many people who are not properly prepared for this, and tremendously brave of them to have to take care of their families. Everyone has to try and still earn some income from this. So many people are forced into going to work. Otherwise, they're not going to have food. So a lot of very, very brave people out there in my community, which is the only one I can really talk about. It is like soldiers in the front line, and particularly proud of everyone who gets in their car every day and goes to the hospital and helps these people. It's almost an act of bravery, and I'm very proud to be part of a community of people who get up and still go carry on right at the front line where they're exposed. It takes a lot, but perhaps here in South Africa, I think, even though we are severely resource constrained, at least in my estimation, day by day, everything is being done. Every possible thing is being done to still take care of the healthcare needs of South African citizens. I'm not saying that that's what's happening everywhere, but certainly in my environment, the organization, how everyone's just jumped into getting things ready and getting things organized and done, I think has been tremendous. So for everyone out there, the healthcare community, at least in South Africa, is really trying to take care of you. And I think the same goes for everyone else who has to still go out there and try and contribute to your life, whether that's someone who has to sit behind the till at a store selling essential goods, or policemen, or everyone involved in these essential services. They're making your life possible, they're making my life possible. And I think a lot of badges will have to be handed out after the end of this. I'm sorry we're not more lively. I'm not a lively person, but I feel particularly unlively.
Understandably.
True. There's a lot of things that go through your mind. I'm sure there's a lot that's going through your mind too.
Yeah. And so we're going to document our captivity, just to be able to reflect.
It's difficult for me to decide. I've had some words with Abigail, because should I just go this on my own and ask her to leave? I've tried to encourage her plenty of times now, but she's sticking.
Well, because I know you need moral support, you need that mental support.
Well, I know, so do you, but I mean, it is a worry. It is a worry. Being right at the forefront and then coming home. There's a whole procedure for us coming home, getting undressed at the front door, etc. There's a whole procedure. And
unfortunately for us, unlike other people who might be in more comfortable environment, we live a very minimalist life, and so our physical space is very small and limited. We can't even go outside. And so I think the cabin fever is going to be real for us. We don't have it. Yeah, totally. I love my forest and I love nature, and we can't even go out. I can't go outside. You're going to be at least going out, and like you can. I mean, you're going to a hellhole, and I don't envy you at all. But you're you'll see the sky and the trees and the mountains and things. And
I'm not really looking at those things at the moment.
but maybe you should, for your mental health. You should just appreciate them when you drive.
Hey, look at this Cape Town. It's a wonderful, beautiful drive from the top of the highway down into the city bowl, which is where the hospital is. It is phenomenally beautiful. It's only a few kilometers, maybe 3 or 4 miles or so. It's not far, but yeah, your mind is obviously somewhere else.
Well, maybe this will help you appreciate.
But it's true. We like the minimal lifestyle. We don't live with excess at all. But now perhaps it's biting us because we don't even have a garden.
Well, I would love the minimal lifestyle that we've got just out in a forest. So as soon as this all goes over, it's priority number 1. Get out into the forest.
I think many people are going to ask themselves very serious questions after this. You know, what is my life worth? What do I want to do with my life?
Yeah.
Is this really what I want to do? If something like this can happen, maybe I should make plans and I should make changes.
What have you been prioritizing all this time? We've certainly got lots to reflect on.
And the whole planet has got to reflect on that.
Yeah, big shake-up. I saw a meme actually on somewhere, they're going around and it's like looking down on the earth through the clouds and all these celestial beings, whatever they are, saying, did somebody tell them to hit the reset button or something like that? And they turn it on and turn it off, and that's exactly what is happening right now. Time to reset.
Better ways to do this, and not by
totally.
Some invisible enemy.
Totally.
Bring on the attacking aliens, maybe that would have been better.
Yeah.
I like science fiction, by the way.
Speaking of which, I think we're going to watch some Star Wars tonight.
Yeah, we can watch some Star Wars tonight.
Going to have to find some interesting ways to entertain ourselves. But yeah, so that's what these videos are going to be about. They're probably not going to be terribly exciting, but it's just a means of documenting, and also I think part of the processing of everything that goes on. Journaling out loud, essentially. It's good to say what is on your chest and on your mind.
I've definitely seen people's thoughts that if you were to watch these videos 10 years from now, just remembering what you went through, perhaps that is the reason to make it.
It's an opportunity to reflect.
And for others to hear what someone else is going through. And if you leave some comments, I'm sure Abigail will answer them. If it's medically related, remember I'm a surgeon, so I can't answer all your questions. But perhaps just trying to allay your fears or worries about the healthcare system that we do have now. Remember, I'm in an academic setting. In the state sector, so it is a bit different from the private sector. Although, as far as I'm aware, everyone's working very hard to take care of you in this time in South Africa.
That's it for day 1. I hope you are having a best day as possible, and keep your morale up, keep your confidence up. Let us know your thoughts. How are you being affected by isolation at the moment? Drop them in the comments down below, and we'll see you in the next video. Hopefully we're a bit more peppy.
We're not peppy at all, are we?
We're really not peppy today.
Maybe I'm tired. I just exercised. I've got to keep the exercise up even indoors. Fortunately, we have
thank goodness we bought that.
I hurt my back, so I've got this chronic back problem.
What would you have done if we hadn't got that?
I'm sat here with a brace on as we're speaking. I've got to go to work with this brace, which is next to a lot of problems. Yeah. But if it wasn't for that special piece of equipment that allows me to exercise without hurting my back,
you would have gone insane.
I would really have gone insane.
All right, that is it. Bye-bye.